Wow.
Gangsta move. Good for him.
That's nice. Real nice. Top 3 stories.
Number 3.
Are the Saudis going to ruin American TV? With this live thing, we started covering the story last week. Charles Barkley is being courted by Greg Norman. Norman invited Barkley to Bedminster, one of the Trump courses in northern New Jersey. That's where they're playing a live tournament this week. And, you know, Dan Patrick is big-time friends with Barkley. So Barkley knows what he's walking into here. He knows the Saudis have a lot of money.
I know most of the numbers just were reported. I know, somebody say Phil Mickelson got $200 million. I'm like, you take that money. Somebody said Dustin Johnson got $150 million, and Bryson and Brooks. I'm like, $150 million to play golf 15 times a year? I have no problem with those guys taking that money. And if they offer me something crazy, I'm going to take it too.
Ooh, that was my fear. Now, Patrick is a very good interviewer. So you have to go down the path like, okay, what's crazy? But do we know what Barkley makes?
What's crazy?
Well, consider how much money I make now, it would take a really huge number for me to give up my life right now. I'm not going to give up my life. I don't like talking about how much money I make.
I was kind of waiting for him to be like, well, I make, $30 million a year now. He wasn't going to do that. But Patrick actually estimated that he makes about $20 million a year between TNT and all of his endorsements. So here's Barkley, without naming an official number, sort of throwing a ballpark figure out there. The Saudis come up with this number, and Charles Barkley is gone from American TV, at least that NBA show.
If they triple it, and next time I'm on your show,
yeah,
the first question better be, Charles, what are we celebrating at tonight? That should be your first question. That should be your first question if they triple what I'm making now. Your first question should be, hey, Charles, where's the party tonight?
I hope this happens. I hope they offer him $60 million a year and he leaves TNT.
They will. There's no doubt that they will now that he said it.
Well, he also said that he's going to play golf, and if he does not have an offer by, say, Friday, he's like, they're not using me anymore for publicity because he's giving them a lot of pub. If I don't have a contract offer by the end of the week, then it's off.
One third straight story from the Big Five that we're burying something.
What's that?
He screwed himself. He basically went on the Dan Patrick show and he threw a line in the water and pitched. He screwed himself by saying 3 times. They know he's a big draw. Why not say 5 times, 6 times? Throw it out there.
But $60 million is a lot of money. So it's $20 million.
I
get your point. It wasn't the most brilliant. I'm sure
he could have got more.
I'm sure his agent said, "Why'd you even mention? Why don't confirm a number?" Now here's a question for you.
Okay.
If he signs for $60 million, at that point he'll be exclusive to live broadcast, whatever that is. They really don't have broadcast yet. They're kind of putting it together. Will every American company that uses him as an endorsement person drop him?
Will TNT drop him?
He'll be done at TNT. That's out. Okay, so will his endorsements, will those companies all drop him? Because a lot reacted to public reaction and dropped the golfers.
Well,
will they all drop Barkley?
Well, first we start with TNT. Then you got to start with March Madness, right?
Okay, stop with the TV part.
Okay.
Companies he pitches. So he does what? Credit cards, right?
During March Madness.
He does Subway, but that's all TV stuff. Will American
Capital
companies?
One.
Oh my God. Will he lose his endorsements? Those are jobs. These are endorsements. Will he lose his partnerships where he does commercials? Will he lose Subway? Will he lose the credit, whatever it is, whatever credit card company it is?
Most likely.
You think?
Sure.
You don't think he would be normal? You don't think he'd be normalizing this by going, "Hey, I'm Charles Barkley. I'm working with the Saudis."
Unless some of those sponsors get sucked into the money once Liv's broadcast. I mean,
Liv will then buy all of the companies that currently
buy
have
the
partners.
companies. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, I threw out a bunch of proposals last week for Liv to buy stuff.
I heard that.
I still think the XFL or the USFL would be awesome, and just start trying to sign NFL quarterbacks and sign like every top high school recruit. Take the top 40 players out of US high schools, lop it right off the top. You're in our league.
G League gone.
That
now
would
it's the
be
Live League.
I was talking football. It wouldn't devastate college football, but it'd make it real interesting. You think they're whining now the college football overlords? What if the Saudis are like, we don't care. Here's $1 billion. We're going to set up a pro football league that's going to sort of compete with the NFL, but really we just want college players and high school players. Screw you.
Or similar to a G League and just a feeder. Interesting.
Yes. Everything I say.
And the thing is, if they were to offer the $60 million to Charles Barkley, so that extra 40, you got to ask yourself, does he make $40 million in endorsements now? So let's say he makes another $5 million in endorsements during the rest of the year so 25. So why would he care if he lost those endorsements? So he went from 25 to 60. Okay, bye-bye.
It's covered.
Number 2.
We love lists on the show. Willie found a good one from the
No, they emailed me.
Oh, they emailed you?
Yeah.
From the highly reputable Pro Football Network.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a growing football site that does a lot of draft stuff. It's not a bad site. We've had some of their guys on. So they've got a top 100 players in the NFL. I thought we did all this during the summer. Carr is not in the top 100. Are we going to have an issue tomorrow? Actually, when does Carr speak? Saturday? I think he speaks on Saturday. Are we going to have another issue with Carr and expectations and ratings? And will you step in to prevent a brawl? A lot of questions there.
Depends on who asks him. Who's gonna instigate? I
don't think there's many others that would sit there and say, "Make me pump the brakes," which was coming.
Yeah, maybe
as Adam Hill told us yesterday about Paul Gutierrez. So, what does this mean? 4 Raiders in the top 100 on this website.
Well,
does that mean the Raiders are not a good team? And Carr's not a top 100 player in the NFL?
It doesn't. No, it just means that those people think that he's not a top 100 player. Because this list includes offense, defense. I mean, the number 1 player was Aaron Donald. So
that's a good choice. I won't argue with that one.
Yeah. We're giving you breaking news, by the way, because this is all supposed to be embargoed.
Oh boy. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were giving me other breaking news. I was ready.
No, so they're releasing 25 at a time.
Okay.
And then. And you're not supposed to publish it. I mean, we're bringing it up, but
can you embargo something that no one cares about?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, we're talking about.
Hey,
nobody's gonna.
We're NFL website number 74. We're gonna hold back our stories for a couple of days. Yeah. All right, I guess we'll wait.
They got.
Really?
Well, here's the thing.
Like that?
Here's the thing. They got the email that I received it at, because I have far too many emails. The one that I got it at is the one that I get all of my. Well, actually, it's not. It's not the one I get the NFL from. So it is the one that I get from the Raiders. So I'm wondering where the heck they got my email from. Could be from the NFL media guy.
4th straight story where we buried the lead. That was really the hook on this one. How are people getting Willie's email? That's how big you are now.
Well,
you're a top 5 NFL.
That's from Cofield.
If I say that, is he a top 5 NFL guy in Vegas? Is someone going to come running in from another studio? Is there going to be a subtweet of that you're not top 5?
I'm not elite status yet. Not elite.
You're there.
No.
Trust me. No. I see the way you operate.
I'm just trying to do my job
down to the Raiders complex. You're a top 5 guy in the Raiders
in training camp.
You're AP. You're top 5. Top story.
Number 1.
Brandon Parker, Colton Miller both spoke. I love their honesty today. Right. And we see with athletes sometimes they'll kind of puff out their chest if you're asking something critical. Both Miller and Parker know what the deal is. This is a star-studded team. If this offensive line doesn't play at an average or above average level, this whole thing is going to be bogged down and they're going to get hammered. Right. Brandon Parker knows that.
Everybody knows the names, Devontae and Derek and all these stars. And everybody says, well, if the offensive line plays well enough, that's what will drive this team. I mean, is that something you guys discussed? Do you talk about it amongst yourselves of maybe the pressure that would be on this offensive line?
But somebody said they kind of have us as the weakest link on the team. Stuff like that. You can't let it control your whole mentality, but it does kind of put a little bit more of a chip on your shoulder. If it already wasn't there, it makes it bigger. For me, this year I deleted my social media. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I just want to be with my guys, be the best I can be. Just within these walls, let's band together. Let's do what we got to do.
I like to hear it, right? No one's getting offended. They know who they are, where they are, in the rankings, what people think of them. You don't have to get all fired up. They know. They deliver or this team is in trouble.
I wasn't seeing it a lot. It was not like if somebody was coming every day, you suck. No, it wasn't like that. But the one, the couple of times you get it, and fans, sometimes you'll get it after a game. You'll get the random, you suck, meanwhile you're blocking a Hall of Famer who's probably might make a play here or two. That's just it's nature of this game. So I just I don't want to see that this year. A lot of that is making sure they can't say that, but also if they feel like saying it, take away the way they can say it.
Talking about what he saw last year on social media and in the offseason. And as a result, it sounds like he is shutting down his social media. I saw that Taylor Lewan, who's a much more high-profile guy and has been out there, kind of a wild personality offensive lineman who does that, whatever that bus show is with Will Compton, that he's shutting down his social media too. So I wonder how many players are going to say, you know what, I don't need to be on here for the next 5 months. What's the point?
Smart.
I actually think it is.
It's smart. It's less distractions. Then we don't have to ask them, well, if you don't care, why do you keep bringing it up?
Right. That's a Derek Carr reference. Is there an O-lineman? Is there an O-lineman that you're paying attention to in this race that you think may surprise some people? I'm not going to ask. I keep hearing media people at the Raiders, practice saying, I see this and that when you're working offensive line drill. Stop doing that. You don't see anything.
There's only one thing I look at.
Okay.
So let me answer that point.
What do you look at?
Footwork.
Okay.
I'm looking at footwork just for explosiveness, just right now.
And you can recognize an NFL lineman who's got bad footwork.
No, not in what they're supposed to do because I'm not an offensive lineman, but I want to see explosiveness off the draw when they're doing the. I just want to see how quick and condition they are these first couple of weeks. Do they look sluggish? Do they look slow? Do they look? I don't know the pivots and what they're supposed. As far as hand, I'm not an offensive lineman, but I'm
glad you said that.
I am looking at.
I go out and I'm like, those are drills, and I'm like,
they're drills, but
they're going at like 30% speed.
They're not.
They're knocking each other on their ass.
Some of them are going.
Okay, some of the drills they go harder.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the stuff where they're really going hard. Well, you know what? You guys do get to be out there for most of the practice, or just a little bit further away, so you get a good view of it. I think a lot of that stuff is under wraps
tomorrow they're
with
going to
most
be in
NFL
pads.
teams.
And let's not forget that these guys that are learning, they're going to eventually, at the end of practice, when they do their drills and they're lining up the ones versus the ones, they're going to be going against Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. They're going to be going off, So it's kind of why I think that the secondary might be improving. I mean, they're kind of going against Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, some really fast guys that are trying to make that final receiver slot.
Are you out there tomorrow?
I'm out there tomorrow.
What do you do to kind of I want to find out on the way back, like first day of the pads. What does Willie do?
All right, let's
kind of take it to the next level from a physicality standpoint as a media guy.
It's the Big 5 at 5, brought to you by Battle Born